Hello, I'm Matthew McConaughey.
Hello, he's not Matthew McConaughey.
Alright.
Okay, so thank you for joining us for the 134th episode of Drunk Doctor Who,
wherein we discuss the 134th
story of Doctor Who, Resurrection of the Daleks.
They're back.
Alright, so today is October 30th of 2023. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Wait, is that today?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
31st is Halloween. And the 1st of November is All Saints Day, which, as a Saints fan, I celebrate. I asked my wife to marry me on All Saints Day. There you go. Okay, so there's 2 episodes. There's only 2. And if you've been paying attention, during this season, they've been airing it Monday, Tuesday. However, this is aired 2 different weeks, even though it's only 2 episodes. It was 4 episodes long, and it was filmed as 4 episodes. But the reason it's only 2 is they wanted to free up more broadcast time and evenings to fill with the 1984 Winter Olympics. Because you see this aired in February. February 8th, 1984, a Monday, and February 15th, 1984, also a Monday. So they opened it up.
We got bumped.
Yeah, well, they combined the episodes, aired them now on different nights, which would interrupt the Olympics. Mm-hmm. So they would both air on one night. Now, these days, they would just bump Doctor Who till past the Olympics. They just wouldn't have whatever during the Olympics. Back then, they kept as much of the schedule as they could. But this is the first instance of Doctor Who with 45-minute episodes that wasn't a special, like the 5 Doctors.
So what 30-minute timestamp did get bumped so they could air the 2 episodes?
No clue.
Or the 1 episode, or the 2 episodes as 1 episode?
No clue. But like I said, it was filmed as 4, but then they combined them, and they just took the end credits from the 1st and 3rd episodes as the end credits for the whole deal, which meant that there were some guys who showed up in episode 2 that weren't credited because of that.
That makes sense.
You forgot one.
Who?
Lytton.
Oh, Lytton was a part of the troops.
He's special.
Special.
Because he was the one that he's the only one that was not a duplicate. Yeah. All right. Lytton. Lytton. All right. So 2 episodes. Companions are Tegan and Turlough. The antagonists are the Daleks, Davros, the Dalek troops, and Lytton.
A whole litany of...
Litany. Oh, that's horrible.
Of bad people and villains. So many to talk about. Davros is back. Hey.
Okay. Yes.
Davros dies again. Hey, spoilers. For the 3rd time? Lytton doesn't.
Yeah, okay. Interesting thing about Lytton. He's this really tall guy with this fantastic voice. Love his voice. And he's a bad guy. But he, spoilers, gets to walk away unscathed.
Yeah.
A very rarity for a bad guy in the classic Who stuff.
You don't see he kind of pulls a master at the end there and just kind of
walks away with a couple of the duplicates.
A couple of the troops, yeah.
Okay, so this should have been 3 45-minute episodes or 6 half-hour episodes.
Pretty action-packed.
There's a lot going on, and if it had been done just a few years earlier, before they stopped doing the 6-parters, it absolutely would have been a 6-parter. Yeah. Because there are so many plot threads that are unresolved.
And it even opens on like a very hectic note. Opens up on London, Earth, 1984. With a whole bunch of people in spacesuits and Daleks and troops running around, and then you have these refugee-looking rebels. They're all roughed up, and you're like, what is going on? Why are these like space people in 1984 London? A whole bunch of people are dying. We had 10 deaths in the first
family show. Yeah. What are you drinking today?
What are we drinking today? I'm drinking a Angry Orchard. Hard cider.
I'm drinking Captain Morgan Spiced Rum. Yes, okay, 2 points of note. This is probably the deadliest Doctor Who serial of the classic stuff. How many did you count? I told him from the onset, keep enough space for a lot of tally marks.
51 humans, 15 Daleks dead on screen.
You missed a few.
On screen.
The official death count for the serial was like 73.
73?
Yeah, it includes the guys that died off screen that you're not counting.
Well, I mean, like a whole spaceship explodes.
Yeah,
technically on screen, but
yeah, there's. I mean, the Supreme Dalek also dies, and I mean, it's just brutal. They're just mowing down people left and right. So we've had previous serials where everyone except the Doctor and his companions die. The one in the lighthouse, horror at Fang Rock or whatever.
Yeah, the lighthouse one was a good one.
Yeah,
but they all died.
But there weren't that many.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one just a couple of serials ago,
that one was heavy. It's always such a heavy tone, a heavy note where it's just the Doctor and his companions and everyone they met died along the way.
Warriors of the Deep. Where everyone on the station, every single last person dies. The last human just like dies at the Doctor's feet, and everyone's dead. But there aren't as many people in those serials as this one. Mm-hmm. This one just has tons of people, and everyone dies except for the Doctor's companions and Lytton.
Has about 15 people, but they keep just walking around the corridor.
No.
The same Daleks, the same few Daleks.
Okay, so it starts off very chaotically, frenetically. You have, like you said, they're showing 1984 Earth in a disused part of London, where now I think the London Eye and the aquarium and the stuff are. I think it was back then.
It was looking like, kind of run down, dockside, on the outskirts.
And listener a couple years ago went there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the London Eye and the aquarium and stuff are now. Because you see Tower Bridge right there.
Right, yeah, our establishing shot on the Tower Bridge.
Mm-hmm. Because the London Bridge is now in Arizona.
It's in Arizona?
Yes. The London Bridge from London Bridge is falling down. It's in Arizona.
How did it end up there?
Some rich guy bought it and moved it to Arizona.
That's so weird.
The one they replaced it with is Tower Bridge because of the two towers.
How do you just buy a bridge and then uproot it and move it?
They were gonna destroy it anyway, so they put it out and
saw
if anybody wanted to buy it. And a rich guy from Arizona bought it.
I guess.
All right. Someday I want to go and find and see that bridge.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems like such a financial burden.
Well, some people have more dollars than cents,
That's true.
All right. So you have setting one in London, 1984.
Don't you have like 100 cents per dollar though?
It's SENSE. All right. You have a second location, which is in the TARDIS, which is the Doctor and his companions trying to navigate the TARDIS. And it's stuck in that time corridor from the end of the last serial.
Picks up right after,
yeah. Picks up directly. This is, in fact, both these serials seem the same day.
Yeah, just non-stop.
The same non-stop adventure. The third one is on a space station.
Prisoner freighter.
Yeah, well, it's a prison space station.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one is the Dalek ship. Mm-hmm. And it's toggling between these, well, toggles too. It's switching between these very rapidly. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to follow the plot, and it's just boom, 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 all over the
ground, back to space, cuts over here, cuts to the ship.
This would have been, instead of, 2, but i.e. really 4 episodes, it would have been 6 easily in the old days, in the 70s.
Oh yeah,
or the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the thing. They wouldn't have had to pad it out. They just could have shown everything because it's just so much going on, and there are several plot threads that are completely dropped. We never see.
Oh, like Turlo.
We never see Turlo go up to the ship, but he does, and that there's a bunch of stuff like that can be explained. We also
a couple of things,
and there's 2 or 3 plot threads that are just dropped.
I don't know if it'd make a whole other episode without extra padding.
No, not padding. I'm talking about just proper showing, but also
but that
explanations on why why in the world is the Supreme Dalek and Davros fighting? I mean, we've got these threads there. What happens with Davros's full attempt to overtake the Daleks, which is never fully gotten into?
He ran out of time.
Well, no, but I mean, he's got this canister that enslaves people to him. Like, let's see. There's also some things with the duplicates, like they're gonna run down in Earth and stuff like that. But there's several things that are just dropped.
Yeah.
I think it should have been 6 episodes. The clip is too fast.
Is a lot.
The clip is just too fast.
I like the faster pace. It's almost like they're taking the padding out, so it makes some more.
They're not even only taking the padding out. There's no padding. They're taking out the seat. You've got nothing left. There's stuff that's skipped.
They skipped like 2 things. A couple of edited scenes for to shove it together into 2 episodes instead of 4. But they're the length of 2 episodes each. So it's like 4 episodes. It's
basically, and it was filmed as 4 episodes.
I think if you added a whole other 5th episode, it would have caused a lot of, it wouldn't keep its same clip. It would slow down a lot.
Right. It'd be more like Genesis of the Daleks. It would be a lot more methodical and.
But I like the more fast-paced, hectic,
you're gonna like
chaotic.
You're gonna like the new stuff a lot then, because this is I think one of the first serials that goes at the pace of the new stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. There's no relenting, hardly. Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, so we get like 8 or 10 deaths within the first minute.
Just on the opening.
Just boom. People running out, being mowed down by what looks like to be automatic weapons.
They call them machine pistols, but they're like little SMGs.
Yeah.
They're just gunning down these they look like
prisoners.
Rebels. Yeah, they're in spacesuits, but just totally disheveled, and they're running down this London street, and they have these cops with these machine pistols just gunning them down.
Completely.
Very graphic for a family show.
Yeah. This is one of the turning points on Doctor Who in terms of all that.
Yeah.
Well,
takes a more violent
this season. Yeah, they got put above the watershed during Tom Baker's era, which means they weren't a children's show. They got made a family show. So it went from like 4 or 5 in the afternoon or something to past 6 or 7 o'clock, which meant they could have a lot more violence. So they started having a lot more violence.
And they did.
Yeah. Anyway, so all these people get mowed down. And there are a couple of prisoners, Stein and Galloway. And Galloway's like, well, we've got to find these people. We gotta tell our own kind what's going on. So he heads back into the building and then gets gunned down by a soldier who pops up at the end of the time corridor that the Doctor and Tegan and Turlough are shunting down. So
Galloway gets gunned down. Stein's like, oh no, that sounded like gunfire. Rushes in, but he can't find his corpse. He goes, where'd he go? He's vanished.
Oh yeah. At first he ran away, but the Doctor, Tegan, and Turlough finally managed to get out of the time corridor. And this is gonna be all over the place because the serial is all over the place, jumping between all these things.
I feel like it does jump around a lot, but it's not as disorienting because all the sets are very distinct and unique. So as it's cutting from, Earth warehouse to space station, back to Earth warehouse to spaceship, you can kind of keep up with it because the sets are very unique and distinct.
Right, but it's a very good example of modern editing. That they put all these disparate things, all this disparate stuff in different locations, and they bring them together eventually. But they just show you all the things that are going on at the beginning, and you have no clue how they're connected. And then there's the prison. On the prison, there's a young, new corporal or something who shows up, and he's like, I don't like it here. Everything is run down. This stinks. And the medical doctor is like, well, it's a prison ship. And he's like, I know, but the morale here is horrible.
Yeah, pretty tough.
And she's like, well, the captain doesn't care, so I don't care, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so this guy complains about the morale on the ship, and the captain puts him, we don't see this section, this is another section we could have seen. The captain puts him on night watch duties or whatever. He gets stuck with the tedium of that. While he's there's a young lady smoking. She has the cigarette and stuff, and which today you just wouldn't even see in one of these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they've got that.
Well, they've made certain, like, regulations on what...
Yeah.
That's a higher rating. It's showing someone...
Oh, my gosh.
Consuming tobacco.
Oh, we can kill 25 people, but how dare you show somebody smoking? Oh. But there's an ashtray right on not the dashboard, but the control
console.
panel. Yeah. So they end up being invaded by the Daleks.
The docking station.
You don't know what they're being invaded by yet. It's a ship, and you find out there's only one prisoner on this whole prison.
The prisoner.
Yeah, the prisoner. And
you never get to see the captain. They mention him a couple of times.
The captain dies also.
And they're like, "Where's the captain?" Oh, he's dead.
So half the crew and the captain die because a battleship approaches the station, fires at it, takes out the energy and the weapons.
The fences are kaput.
And the young, the guy, what was his name? They mentioned his name.
Colonel Archer?
No.
Laird?
No.
Calder. Sergeant Calder.
No, those are all guys down on Earth. Something
Color
like
guy?
Yeah.
Mercer.
Mercer, that's it. I was going to say something like Merkel or something, but Mercer.
The guy with the long nose, yeah.
He did have a long nose. All right, so Mercer, he looks a bit like Mos Def.
Moss from the IT Crowd?
No. He's an actor who's in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Which one?
The movie.
I think I've seen most of. Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Okay.
The one with Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah. The Ford Prefect in that movie.
The who?
Ford Prefect, the short black guy that saves Arthur Dent when they hitch.
When they're hooking him up and they're reading the poetry and he's like, "No, nothing's worse than."
Yeah.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, he looks
earworm.
Right. The earworm. It's not an earworm.
The translating fish that they stick in the ear.
The Babel fish.
Babel fish.
All right, but anyway, he looks a bit like him.
Like the Tower of Babel.
Right. The guy we're talking about, Mercer, looks a bit like Mos Def.
Okay. But with the longer nose.
True, Mos Def's is a little flatter and wider. But they look a bit alike. Both a little shorter.
It almost looked like a prosthetic. It's like, is that his real nose? It is, I guess.
Some people have real noses.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they made the movie Roxanne. Okay, Steve Martin has a decently long nose as it is. So they saved money on the prosthetics because they didn't have to make the prosthetics out as far. Yeah.
That's funny.
There was a different version of a Cyrano de Bergerac where the same thing happened. They picked a guy who already had a long nose, and so that worked. Okay, so anyway, the space station gets hit, gets knocked out. The doc comes in, and he's like, "Where's the captain?" And she's like, Mercer says that, and she's like, "He's dead along with half the crew." And they're like, "Okay, so all the airlocks are sealed except airlock 3 because nothing seems to work on this prison ship."
The blast door gets jammed.
Yeah, they're
like half their instruments get knocked out in the initial bombardment.
So the captain grabs the pretty young lady that he was talking to, the one who was smoking. I don't think we ever get her name. And he gives her this key card. Now he's kind of high ranking if he's got that key card, and whatever rank he is, he's still not the captain, but he tells her,
Colonel?
I don't know, but he tells her, hey, if anything happens, kill the prisoner. And you're like, the prisoner?
The prisoner.
One prisoner? Like the show, the prisoner I've been showing you. Yeah, we need to watch some of that.
They had a few prisoners there, though.
Right. But it's called The Prisoner.
Yeah, that's a good show. Be seeing you.
The original. I haven't seen the remake.
Oh, they made a remake?
They did a remake.
When did they come out with that?
03, 04, something like that. So anyway, Daleks come in, they invade. They blast open the blast door, and they're coming in and they're firing and they kill a bunch of the defenders.
A bunch more people.
Oh yeah, a bunch more people.
So gruesome too. They really stepped up the CGI with the Dalek phasers.
Oh, where it looks like the skeleton or whatever. Yeah. So the now acting captain, I guess, Mercer, hits some mines, hits a trigger, and several of the Daleks, 2 of them I believe, explode. So the Daleks retreat. And then Lytton, who has been talking to the Daleks like an equal, which is amazing. Nobody ever does this except the Doctor. He says, look, your strategy's not going to work. They mine the place. We have to go by my strategy. So, and the Daleks are like, well, if you fail, we'll kill you. And he's like, okay. And he runs in with a canister of gas. Mm-hmm. And because he's a lot more mobile than the Daleks.
Anthrax, basically.
Yeah.
It's like melting people's faces.
Yeah, he just rolls that canister in. And a lot of the people, the defenders, have these weird little small helmets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of look like a weird baseball cap combined with a helmet, you know?
A shield.
Yeah, it's very
pulled out.
Yeah, it's very
there on the chin.
Very small and slight. But the ones that don't, their faces melt. And it's some sort of weird, like I said, anthrax or acid or whatever. But basically, their faces melt.
Cold Warfare.
And this is shown.
Yeah, it's real graphic too. See all the melted face prosthetics on the people. They turn them over, give you a nice close up. You're like, ooh.
Like I told you at the beginning of this serial, leave a lot of room for the tally marks, and you didn't leave enough.
I didn't.
you did not expect exactly how deadly.
Was not expecting the 60+ deaths.
So anyway, they managed to force a retreat thanks to that gas by the defenders, and they run into the control room, and Mercer, acting Captain Mercer, is like, every man for himself. And it's like, and then you see a bunch more deaths as the Daleks show up,
slaughtering people.
Okay, so
Daleks take control of the station helm. The other people are just scattered. There's just a few crew survivors left. They have this one sort of guerrilla warfare pack that's going through the
right. There's corridors. 4 of them, which are Mercer, the Doc,
Professor Laird, or is that the one that's on? Yeah, Professor Laird was the one in the spaceship.
Wait, Laird.
Or was that the girl doctor on Earth?
I think that was the girl doctor on Earth. Not 100% sure. But there's 2 others that we don't get named.
Styles, Archer, Calder, Kiston, Osborne, Galloway died. Okay, that's not it.
Wait, Osborne?
I'm not really sure who Osborne. They mentioned him at some point, and I wrote it down. I think they said Osborne. I think he's just some random crew guy. He might have been in that group of like
I think
4 or 5 guys.
I think that might have been the doctor down below.
Oh, the doctor was Osborne. Okay.
The lady doctor?
So Professor Laird's probably the one in the space station.
She
has the glasses.
Okay. The lady on Earth with the glasses, I think was Osborne.
Oh, she's Osborne.
Because there's a young lady in the new stuff named
like a callback?
Named Osborne. That supposedly, this has never been explained, but supposedly is her daughter.
So it's a last name.
Just friggin' like, well, it's military. They're going to mostly use last names. So most of these are last names because the military uses last names.
Even Turlough's a last name. Why doesn't he go by his first name?
I don't think that's his last name, is it?
What's his first name?
I have no idea.
I thought he said his name was Visor.
If it is, then we get Turlo because they use the last names at the academy where he was. Tegan is her first name. It's Tegan Javanka.
Javankovich.
No, just Javanka.
Oh.
Okay. Alright, so... Okay. Finally, the Doctor, Tegan, and Turlo show up on the wharf.
They're still stuck in that... Oh, yeah.
They get out of the time corridor. They get thrust around, blah, blah. Let's act like Star Trek, like the ship's being jumped around. You know.
Everyone lay down on set.
Yeah, and...
we'll turn the camera sideways.
Tegan's like, can I go to my room? I feel sick. They're like, too late. Click. Anyway, they get out of that time corridor, but they run parallel to it, and they finally get back to Earth. They wind up on the wharf and everything. They go in, trying to figure out what's going on. Doctor's like, I want to see what's going on in the time corridor.
Mm-hmm.
They go into a particular... they bump into... what's his name? Stein. They bump into Stein. Stein basically falls into the Doctor's arms. The Doctor lays him down, and Stein's like...
You got any food?
You got any food? I haven't eaten since yesterday, and I'm so tired, and I'm so hungry, and...
There's soldiers in the warehouse.
The Doctor's wearing celery. Just give the man your celery. And he doesn't.
Oh, that's not good to eat.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It's been there forever.
But
this
preservatives or something.
Stein never gets to eat before he dies.
He never eats.
Never. He even rides in the TARDIS. And, you know, if you figure, hey, dude, why don't you... Here, I got some food over here when they're in the TARDIS, but... Poor Stein. That's another thing they could have shown was Stein eating.
Davison was, so cold about that. Like any other Doctor, I feel like would pulled out some jelly babies. Yeah, and he's like, "Do you have any food?" And he's like, "No." Just couldn't be bothered.
So they eventually go into the warehouse, looking for the end of the time corridor, and they're looking around, and Turlo disappears, just completely disappears.
Whoosh.
He ends up, there's another scene they could have shown, he ends up in the,
time
at the other end of the time corridor, on the Dalek ship. Not the prison ship, but the Dalek ship.
Yeah. You can tell because they have the same little circles.
Well, no.
Something about Daleks and their little circles.
Well, no, one of the things about the prison ship was, since they were holding Davros, you noticed all the doors you had to step through. The bottom was this tall. And you step through the door. Because Daleks can't do that. And Davros can't do that. Mm-hmm. I think it was designed that way. And I think it's a very subtle, very good design based on the fact that the Daleks roll and Davros rolls.
Daleks hate stairs.
They do. For the moment. Anyway, so... it was designed that way, and I noticed that they had all the deals where you had to step through like on a Navy vessel. Mm-hmm. Because...
Oh, like the portholes, yeah?
Yeah, because Davros can't step over, and Daleks can't step over. Unfortunately, they have troopers now.
With legs.
Yeah, with legs.
Oh no, their stair defenses aren't holding up.
Yeah. So anyway, Turlo's wandering around the ship, and the Dalek ship, and he bumps into a bunch of stuff, and they're like, ooh, that is a companion of the Doctor. We should kill him, because they have closed circuit television, of course. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, don't kill him. We will use him as bait. The Doctor will come to us, and we will capture the Doctor.
Because they want to duplicate the Doctor, for some reason.
Right. They want to
explain later.
Yes, that's
for
another
no reason
plot.
They explain.
That's another plot thread that could have been explored in 6 episodes. The reason they want to mention duplicate the Doctor is because they want him to go with Turlo and duplicates of Turlo and Tegan.
Trojan horse into Gallifrey.
Back to Gallifrey, Manchurian candidate kind of thing. Back to Gallifrey and kill the Time Lord High Council. Mm-hmm. And once again, another big plot thread that gets dropped, which needed some explanation. Like I said, it should have been 6 episodes. Well, it should have been 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Alright.
6 too many. It's 2 episodes.
Okay.
It is.
Well,
4 more
2 that was really
episodes.
4. 2 that was really 4.
So
It
one
should
more
have been
episode.
1 more. If they were going to combine it, it should have been 3. And we do get that in the modern stuff. The Utopia trilogies like that.
Oh.
And then the most recent full season is like that, where we get 6 episodes, all 45 minutes long.
You all caught up on the new stuff?
Yeah.
How do you like it?
The
Getting better?
okay. Yes, Chibnall got better as he went along. Very specifically,
Good outro.
yes, his last episode, The Power of the Doctor, was by far his best episode. And it was actually good. I was amazed. It was really good.
Nice. Is he doing the special, the Christmas special?
The
anniversary
60th
thing?
anniversary special.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he's
That's all Russell T Davies.
Ah.
We're back to him, and then going forward. So they announced the dates for the specials.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great.
The first one is the Saturday, I think the 25th. The one closest to the 60th anniversary, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 2 are in December, like 2nd and 9th. Which means it's only 2 weeks from there till the Christmas special. So we're going to have, so they may be very connected. We're going to have all those almost in a row. Almost in a row. And then, of course, rolling into next year for Series 14.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I'm
It's
looking
nice.
forward to it.
When they have, like a run-up, because I feel like Doctor Who, modern Doctor Who, is just hiatus after hiatus, long droughts.
To be fair, it's been a year since the last, more than a year since the last episode, the latest episode.
Long time.
But Russell T Davies and Bad Wolf are promising no more giant hiatuses like that.
Oh,
And
great.
he's already apologized that the Series 14 is only 8 episodes. But Series 15 is supposedly going to be longer, so we'll see.
16?
16 is not, they're filming 15.
Oh.
They're currently filming 15, even though a single episode of 14 is not aired as of yet. So 16 is probably a good bit on the other side. But anyway, so the Doctor is yelling for Turlo, and he attracts some soldiers who are in there.
Dalek troopers. Oh no,
Not yet.
the
They're not Dalek
Earth
troopers
soldiers.
yet. Yeah. So they're Earth soldiers, and they're bomb disposal
squad,
units.
yeah.
So there's a lady medic whom I guess is there just in case anybody
Later.
gets injured.
Yeah.
No, Osborne, I think.
Oh, Osborne.
I think.
Ah.
Just in case anybody gets injured. There's the corporal. What's his name?
The Colonel?
The colonel, yeah.
Archer.
Archer. There is a sergeant.
Calder.
And there is some just poor, I guess, private.
Kiston?
I guess so. But there's these 4, and they're there trying to dispose of what they think are bombs. Because they got called in because there were some construction people working on turning the warehouses into flats, into apartments, and they found these containers that they thought were World War II bombs. So,
Very modern, sci-fi, futuristic looking World War II
Containers,
bombs. One look at that. Oh yeah,
that's a bomb. Well, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, and you err on the side of caution. So they all come to the Doctor, and I was like, okay. And then Dalek Supreme sends down a Dalek to
You
capture
can-
the Doctor.
tell because he has silver circles instead of the black circle.
And he's taller.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's a
I
bit
didn't
taller than
notice
the
that.
other Daleks. And it has been confirmed previously that the Dalek Supreme from the previous episodes is the same Dalek Supreme
same
here.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
not in the show,
Uh-huh.
but just by people behind the scenes.
Oh, like the same.
The actual same
Oh,
Dalek
okay.
Supreme, yeah. Although the
Not
one,
Can-
but it's not the same as the Dalek Emperor, who was in Power of the Daleks, if you remember.
Right.
Yeah.
He was what? Purple?
Well, he was giant.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't any color.
Oh yeah,
he was black and
hooked up
white.
to like all the
He
wires
was
and
giant.
stuff.
Yeah, he was like 20 feet tall. But the Dalek Supreme is different from the Dalek Emperor, but all the Dalek Supremes supposedly up to this point have been the same Dalek Supreme. Anyway, so the Doctor runs into the soldiers and they're like, what are you doing? He says, well, we're looking for my friend. Well, this is private property. Well, I'm sorry. And they ask him, and the Doctor apparently, once again, another scene cut out that would have benefited for the 6 episodes, tells them everything about the time corridor and the aliens and all that.
Exposition.
And they're like, well, he's already figured out most of it. Let's just tell him the rest. And then a Dalek shows up. The Dalek comes down the time corridor from the Dalek ship to exterminate the Doctor. And the Doctor says, that's a Dalek. Take cover. And they all take cover. And he says, shoot for the stalk. Get the stalk. So they shoot. Yeah, they shoot for the eye. They blind the Dalek. Somebody hits it. And then the Doctor runs over the Dalek, grabs it, and he says, everybody help me. And they take the Dalek and they push the Dalek out of a
window?
Well, out of looks like they already destroyed part of the building.
Oh, like a...
So yeah, so they shove it out and it lands on the ground and then they go get it. In the meantime, Tegan is injured on her forehead.
Yeah, she got knocked by the plunger.
Yeah, well, but I think the stalk. And she's injured like right here. So the medic Osborne takes her down and they they put the bandages on it and then the Doctor is talking with them and they go down, they get the Dalek and bring up the wreckage. So the Colonel, the Doctor's like, yeah, we need reinforcements. We must have reinforcements. And Colonel Archer's like, okay, but my radio's not working. I need to go find a phone. And so he goes to find a phone and bumps into no. He goes to a regular payphone, but the cord's cut. And then he goes up to 2 officers who are duplicates. You'll find out these in a minute, but and they kill him.
Yeah.
They just flat. Can I borrow your radio? And he takes a radio, and the radio doesn't work because it's just a prop. Because they don't want to actually talk to anybody on that thing, and they just flat out kill him.
Because your radio's dead, and they say, "So are you."
In the meantime, they end up. The Dalek that was in the machine gets out and attacks the one poor private.
He got carried up with the wreckage. So when everyone else left, just the one guy
attacks the poor private.
Face hugger.
Yeah.
Sticks him. He's not dead apparently, but
well, he survives the first assault. And then but eventually, all the people down there are killed. And they're taken up to the Dalek ship, and they're replicated for the duplicants. And when they go back down, the one guy had given the Doctor his gun, the Colonel, Archer. Yeah. But when he's replicated, apparently he's replicated with a gun for some weird reason. That seems a little bit of a... unless they're going into their minds and replicating them as what their minds would see.
Just their outfit.
Even though they're dead. That doesn't make any sense that he would have a gun when he didn't have a gun because he gave it to the Doctor. But we get to see Peter Davison, the most peaceful of all the Doctors, the most pacifist Doctor, grab a gun and just shoot a Dalek point blank.
Unloads the clip.
Yeah.
And he hands it to Osborne and goes, here, you take this.
And then he goes and he grabs it and he does it. But there's only a couple times you see the Doctor ever grab a gun. Tennant does it.
You feel like he'd grab it more often if he had one to grab. But he specifically doesn't carry one. So in situations where he would grab the gun, he can't because he doesn't have one most of the time.
Right. But he very specifically, and only a couple of times, actually grabs a gun offered to him. Usually he'll refuse it. And anytime you see him actually grab a firearm, you're like, ooh, damn.
Usually the Daleks, are in... There are a lot of callbacks to that one episode where he's thinking about destroying the Dalek race. And he goes,
Genesis of the Daleks, yeah.
And then he calls back to that a couple of times. One in this serial, he goes, I could have destroyed them, but I didn't. That's a mistake I don't want to make again.
Yeah. In the meantime, on the...
Daleks, he'll grab a gun.
In the meantime, on the prison ship, the deal to destroy the prisoner doesn't work. So a couple people go to... The young lady and one other guy go to destroy the prisoner.
Yeah, manually. Isn't the point of a prisoner failsafe is that it doesn't fail when... You know, destroy the prisoner if everything else goes wrong. It's the failsafe.
Yeah.
And then it fails.
Well, it had been established it was a pretty crappily maintained prison ship.
Yeah, that's true.
That had been established. So they go to
frozen for 90 years. They're like, wow, the Daleks aren't coming anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, they go to kill Davros, and they have a hard time getting through the door, and then they have a hard time opening the mechanism to kill him, and then right about as they're about to destroy him, they get shot by the troopers.
In Lytton. So they rescue Davros, they de-thaw him, they unfreeze him. His teeth are black because he never brushes them. But, you know, all things considered, he's doing pretty good. He can see, apparently, even though his eyes are...
Well, it's that third eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
his eyes don't open. Yeah, he's got the third eye there.
I didn't know that was for seeing.
Well, what do you think that was for?
I don't know. Just like a...
We will eventually.
Motherboard.
Well, yeah.
He just
goes into...
he upgraded to like a solid state drive. He's like, I don't have enough storage.
So Davros is alive again, and apparently what happened was during the Mullivan War. That was the during the fourth Doctor.
Right.
That was the people with the white outfits and the dread braids.
Turned out just computers.
Yeah, it turned out to be androids. They were the ones that eventually figured out a way to win that war, which was to create a virus which attacked only the Daleks, which they did. So we find out that eventually the casings down on Earth, the whole reason for the time corridor, is to put the Mullivan virus as far away as they could from them, which was Earth in a decrepit part of London in 1984, well away from them in time and space, but where they could access it if they needed to. And they're coming to get Davros so that he can create an antidote for the virus to help them when they were slaughtered, to help them come back. And these troopers, some of them seem to be people who willingly followed and helped the Daleks, because some people just like evil, I guess.
At least Lytton.
Yeah, Lytton. And others were people who did that at least at one point, but have been turned into duplicates, such as Stein.
Right.
Yeah. And there's one point where Lytton says, he's talking to Stein, and he's like, yeah, Daleks will kill anybody, even if they help them, but they will still kill everyone. And Stein looks up at Lytton and goes, yeah, when's your turn?
Great line. Just kind of looks at him, silent.
When's your turn?
Right on our cliffhanger. That's when the Doctor and Stein go through the time corridor. Is that coming up?
Well, there you go.
Is that where we're at?
We're getting there. So anyway, eventually... Davros is like, okay, I need an engineer, I need people to help me, but I'm not leaving the ship because I might need to be here in case I need to be frozen again. And kind of what he's got going on, but mostly he has a little deal in his capsule where he can, apparently some sort of serum that makes people obey him and him alone. And so he starts turning people over to his side, trying to create his army within the Daleks and within the Dalek troopers and all that. And he gets a bunch of them, actually.
So he doesn't want to leave the prison ship because he doesn't trust his own Daleks because of what happened last time when he was have mercy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't trust the Daleks. He knows they're only using him for they don't pay him any homage as their creator, as he kind of puts it.
So because they're superior, even though he created them.
Yeah. And so he has his own mind conditioner thing. So he's refusing to leave the ship. He's making excuses. What if I need to be frozen again? I need an engineer. And Lytton and the Daleks are giving in to these commands because they don't really have anything to bargain with. They're there to save him, rescue him. They need him. So they bring him this engineer. He mind conditions that guy, and
then they bring him a chemist. He mind conditions the chemist.
Mm-hmm.
Then they bring a couple guards. They mind condition the guards. Then they bring a couple Daleks. He mind conditions the Daleks. And it's just this, turning everyone over to his side, kind of like the way the Master would with hypnotism,
Right. Yeah.
And eventually,
mind control, the good old Doctor Who trope.
True.
It's like every other serial, so it's being mind controlled.
So eventually, the Doctor leaves with Stein to go find the time corridor. Oh no! They take off in the TARDIS. They just literally take off in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And head up.
They leave Jovanka.
Yeah, they leave Tegan and
Turlough's still missing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're looking for Turlough.
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor believes he's on the ship, so they go up to look for Turlough, and immediately Stein, who this entire time has had a stutter when he's himself, when he is his human self, has a stutter, and apparently he's American because he's talking about the amendments of the Constitution later on. Stein goes and gets a gun.
You always have a choice. That's Amendment 25 or 26.
25th. The 25th Amendment is to remove the president. Is literally to remove the president.
I guess that's a choice.
It is a choice, I guess. But it's what to do with the president if he cannot perform his duties, and how to remove him, and it lists the people in order in case of disaster. Who would then be next in line to the presidency. This was done during the Cold War.
Vice President.
For obvious reasons. And after the impeachment, or attempted impeachment of Nixon, he resigned.
Oprah Winfrey, I think number 4.
You are correct on Vice President and then Speaker of the House. That is absolutely correct. And then after...
And then it's that one dog named Doug that's the mayor of that one city. They elected a dog as mayor.
That does not surprise you.
Who knows? Who knows goes next?
Anyway.
So they're in the TARDIS.
It starts going down the cabinet. It starts going down the president's cabinet.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the time corridor.
No, for the council. Alright.
The time cabinet.
So anyway. Stein puts a gun to the Doctor's head when the Doctor, was about to shoot the one guy.
Yeah.
End of episode 1.
He goes, no, I am a Dalek agent.
Yes.
And done, cliffhanger.
Doom, doom, doom. And there were several points previously where we could have had the cliffhanger,
Yeah, I was trying to think out
where the Daleks showed up. The things where the Daleks showed up.
Yeah. Like, man, where would have been the cliffhanger if they didn't merge the 2 episodes?
When the Daleks showed up down in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, episode 2.
There's always the cliffhanger on the Daleks.
Yeah.
And all the other Daleks, it's always when the Daleks show up, it's cliffhanger.
Or when they play train.
or that, yeah.
So, episode 2. The Doctor's captured. Cheers. You getting another one?
Yeah.
Alright.
Can I get you anything? Oh, my knees pops. Cheers.
I'm good.
I'm getting old. It's the cold.
Yeah.
Do your knees pop when it's cold?
My knees pop all the time.
Okay.
Everything on me pops all the time. Alright, so the Doctor was captured. And we still have the 2 factions, the Davros faction and the Supreme Dalek faction. The Supreme Dalek wants to make a duplicate of the Doctor and his companions, so they can go and kill the High Council of the Time Lords. And this supposedly is one of the, I find out later, don't tell Holden, is one of the opening maneuvers in the Time War, supposedly. Russell Z. Davies said this later on. And I can see it. Makes sense. So they take the Doctor, they take him to duplicate him, and while they're doing that, there's a couple of guards there and a couple of Daleks there. The Daleks get called away. The guards stand outside, so it's just Stein and the Doctor. And while they're replicating the Doctor's mind, it's on a reel-to-reel, of course. Old school, and reel-to-reel tape, if you don't know what that is. They used to release albums and all sorts of stuff, and that used to be the basis for high-end computers, supercomputers, way back in the day, 60s, 70s. That and punch cards. Anyway, so images of the Doctor's mind show up on a screen, much like they did when he was in the Matrix in The Deadly Assassin, or when he was fighting in The Brain and Morbius. The Brain and Morbius? I think so. Anyway. So the images show up, and then it goes through most of the companions and most of the Doctors. A couple of exceptions, Dodo, thank you, and Leela. I don't know why Leela was skipped. She was a major companion. But it goes through, and it does that all the way back to the first Doctor, and it's obviously recording his brainwaves. And at the same time, he's talking to Stein, trying to get Stein to become his normal self. And he's breaking through Stein's mental barrier, and Stein starts to stutter again because he's becoming himself and not the Dalek control, the Dalek conditioning duplicate. While this is going on, the four people in the station, including the Doc and the Captain Mercer, or acting Captain Mercer, and the two others, they bump into Turlough. Well, first of all, they bump into a group of guards, a group of the troopers for the Daleks. They kill all the troopers for the Daleks. Like I said, high body count. They put on their uniforms. Then they bump into Turlough. They capture Turlough. Turlough explains to them they want to execute him immediately, but he's like, look, I'm not with the Daleks. Well, then, how'd you get here? Well, through a time corridor. And the Doc's like, well, you know, the Daleks can time travel, so that's possible. So they decide to go to the self-destruction room to destroy the prison, space prison, because they can't win. They can't kill the Daleks, except they can at least take them out when they self-destruct the prison. So they're working on that. In the meantime, Mercer and Turlough are going to find the time corridor so that they can go back to Earth, so they can go get help. They get there, and there's a bunch of troops and Daleks there, and so, well, we can't get through this. There's too many of them, so let's head back. As they're going back, in the meantime, Lytton and his cadre are called up to go destroy the people in the self-destruction room, because there's CCTVs and they see that there are humans there trying to activate the self-destruction thing. So there's the one guy outside, the one lady inside, and the Doc's trying to figure out how to initiate the self-destruct. Eventually, she sees on the camera, thanks to the CCTV, that the Dalek troopers, Lytton and his crew, are coming. So they get inside, they shut the door, and they're working on it. And Lytton and his crew get there, and he's like, oh, they must have seen us. So they shut the door. So they decide to try and break through the door and break through the wall on the left-hand side. While they're doing that, the other two who aren't named in the group that are with the doc reinforce the door. Start pulling panels down and moving things, trying to reinforce the door, trying to barricade it. And then the bad guys, the Dalek troopers, finally manage to break through, and they kill all three of the people in the room before they can just before they can set off the self-destruct. Yep. Alright.
Thought I'd stick with water. Those beers going right through me.
No. Well, definitely go to water if there's any question.
Do what now?
Definitely switch to water if there's any question.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. So, because you're driving later.
I'll try that.
Yeah. So, they kill all the people in the room, including the doc. Turlo and Mercer get back, and they see that they can't get into the room. They're like, okay. Yeah, so they leave. Turlo finally convinces him to go. Then, let's see. So there's so many moving parts. Alright, so the doctor had convinced Stein to set him free. And they head out.
Stein goes,
yeah,
can't stand the...
Right, so they end up...
Shuts off the machine.
They end up taking a couple of the guards hostage, tying them down. In the meantime...
Puts him in the bubble wrap.
Yeah, put them in the bubble wrap. Let's see. In the meantime... Tegan and Turlo are looking for the doctor and everybody. And they find the doctor. They're wandering around up on the space station prison. And they find the doctor. And the doctor's like, oh, good, help us.
Yeah.
They go in, they help. Okay.
There's that awkward standoff where they're all pointing guns at each other.
They're like, yeah, then they go and they help. So, at this point, you have Davros with his cadre of people that he mind controlled. And he sends them out to do certain actions for him. And include the two Daleks, because they mainly need a bit of the Mavellian virus.
Yeah.
So that he can kill any of the Daleks that are against him. And essentially all Daleks.
It's going to start over from scratch.
Yeah.
A couple of test subjects.
Yeah. In the meantime, the Supreme Dalek has decided that Davros is
no good.
Yeah, he's no good. He's what's the term he uses?
Too independent.
No, not unquestionable. Unreliant.
Unreliable.
So he's like, okay, we need to go and kill these Daleks. We need to go and kill these people, and we need to kill Davros.
Very scorched earth. It's like nothing's going to plan. Just start executing people, kill them all.
So he sends the two Daleks down, the two bad Daleks or Davros Daleks, down to Earth. They go in, they start shooting up, and all the duplicates end up dying.
Very confusing. Yeah, there's because he sent a couple of troopers down too, so it's like troopers and Daleks shooting at other troopers and Daleks. And you're like, what's going on?
The duplicates.
Duplicate troopers.
Right. So you have
trooper dupes.
So you have the duplicates.
Troops.
And they're all firing at each other. And then he sends down the Supreme Daleks, and they're firing at the other Daleks. And a nice big speech about, you're the bad Daleks. No, you're the bad Daleks. We must be with Davros. No, we must obey the Supreme Dalek. And they do this for about 3 minutes. And then they start firing, and everybody dies. Everybody dies. Even the doctor shows up.
Yeah, there's quite a firefight going on. This is the point where Litton's like, maybe I should get out of here. But then he sees the doctor. He's still wanting to kill the doctor, but he kind of knows stuff's hitting the fan, and things aren't really going to plan anymore. And the doctor's like, well, we got to get rid of these Daleks. And yes.
Well, a little bit. That's just a little bit later.
Where are we now?
But so, the group with the doctor and the guards and Stein. They all make it back to the TARDIS, and the doctor tells it's Mercer, Stein, the doctor, Turlough, and Tegan. Mm-hmm. The doctor tells Turlough and Tegan to stay in the TARDIS. Doctor's going to go kill Davros. Mm-hmm. And Mercer's like, well, I can show you the way. And Stein's like, I would love some revenge. So the doctor leaves with Mercer and Stein, and he tells Tegan and Turlough to stay in the TARDIS, and at the first sign of trouble, leave. So the doctor, Mercer, and Stein go, and Tegan and Turlough stay in the TARDIS. The doctor, Mercer, and Stein are wearing the troopers' outfits, so they look like they're escorting him. And they get into Davros's laboratory where he is, and Davros is like, I should kill you. I will take every bit of knowledge of yours, and I will make you suffer a painful death. And Dark's like, oh, I thought that was it. I was hoping you weren't going to make me kill you. Yeah,
and I'm not here as your prisoner.
Yeah, so I'm here as your executioner. So he grabs the gun, and that might have been one of the episode ends. Yeah. So he grabs the gun, he points at Davros, and then Davros is like, oh look, I was going to change the Daleks, which that was true, but he had stated he was going to make them fiercer and everything. He's like, but he gives all this crap, and the doctor falls for it.
He's like, yes, kissed in here, and he's like, it's true, and of course the doctor's like, you're there's no hope for you, you're pure evil, I'm going to execute you, and he goes, but hear me out, I've turned a new leaf, and the doctor of course goes, go on.
So Mercer goes outside to guard the corridor, and then some bad guys show up, and so the doctor tells Stein and Mercer go take care of it. Mm-hmm. They go out, and Mercer just kills two of them flat out, just boom boom. Then they turn around, some other guys show up, and there's another firefight. Mm-hmm. And Mercer dies. Stein is injured. Mm-hmm. The doctor goes out to help Stein, realizing only at the last second that he can't get back in because they've locked the doors. He's like, oh, idiot.
Yeah, he's grabbing right here. He got shot with the laser.
That's Mercer. Yeah,
you can tell he has blood loss because his face is getting pale, maybe internal bleeding, because there's no holes, no blood, no. It's just all pretend.
And Stein's like, the Dalek control's taking back over. The Dalek control's taking back over. I can't protect you, Doctor. Go away. And Doctor's like, I can help. He's like, no. Stein runs off, wounded. And then Stein's like, think positive, think positive. And he says, I'm going to go to the self-destruction room.
Because that's positive.
Yeah. So he heads to the self-destruction room. In the meantime, the doctor eventually finds his way, grabs the weapons, finds his way to the time corridor, goes down.
Loves weapons. That's sweet.
He goes down and places C4 on a couple of Daleks. They explode. Then he makes it into the TARDIS, sees Tegan and Turlough, who in the meantime have managed to extract one of the canisters.
Mavellian
virus.
Doctor goes, oh, perfect timing.
Perfect, yeah. He's like, good job, Tegan. So, on the ship, the prison ship, Davros had made small deals of the virus for his guys to release. And
what do you call those? Something eggs? Cadbury eggs. Cadbury eggs of death.
They're more like what's the word? Not capsules.
Capsules.
There's another word. I can't think of the word. A small vial-like thing that you break.
Capsule?
Vial?
No, not capsule.
You're talking about the
ampule. Ampule.
Good word.
Ampule.
The
A small
glass
ampule.
ampules when they...
Yeah, small ampule. So Davros takes a small ampule, breaks it, because he's like, okay, I'm killing the rest of the Daleks, because all of his people would die.
Start from scratch.
Then some Daleks show
Here's
up.
my escape pod. Escape pod's ready.
Yeah, escape pod's ready.
Cat period.
And then he takes the ampule and he breaks it, and a couple of Daleks show up, and he talks to him for a moment, and then they're like,
join me.
Problem, yeah. Because the Mavelian virus is killing them.
The shaving cream starts spitting out of them.
It is. It's like that silly string you shoot out of them. And the Doctor does the same thing. The Doctor takes a genocidal virus and releases it the exact same way that Davros does against the Daleks on Earth. And he does that, and he releases it, and they're dying. And
it really draws that parallel again between the Doctor and Davros saying, you know, you're not so different from me, and the Doctor goes, of course I'm the opposite of you, and the Dalek being like, oh, you would have made a good Dalek. And
that's the new stuff. You would have made a good Dalek.
The parallel that it's drawing between Davros and the Doctor.
But this Doctor, generally speaking, is very pacifistic, except in this serial specifically. So he releases that amongst the Daleks. They're all dying after they've killed all the duplicants and everyone else. After they shoot Dr. Osborne, just cold blame. She tries to get away, and they're like gun her down, like all the people at the very beginning of the serial. Just gun them down. Everyone is dead. Lytton is there with one duplicant. And the duplicant goes, what's going on? He says, oh, they're dying. And so are you. Takes his gun, shoots the duplicate in the face, and he sneaks out. Yeah. He meets, he grabs the Bobby's cap, the captain's cap.
Dusts it off a little bit.
Yeah, and he walks out, and there's those two duplicates of the Bobbies.
The ones that have been carrying around the...
Yeah.
The suppressor pistols. And
they look at him, they salute him, and then he just walks off with them flanking him on either side, just a little bit behind him. And
like they're setting something up, right? For
the
future.
And then the Doctor goes to back to the TARDIS to his companions, and and they're like, well, are they unstable? I'm sure they're unstable. All the duplicates will fall apart. Oh, no. They're in the TARDIS, and then
the spaceship,
and then the spaceship. The Dalek Prime is like, oh, Doctor, we will defeat you. We have duplicates all over the world. Yada yada yada.
Yes, strategically placed Daleks around the world for the.
Well, no, duplicates.
No, they stored Daleks.
I think he said duplicates. For what?
Handle.
Duplicates.
Strategically placed Daleks all around the globe to aid the
duplicates. Yeah.
So
anyway, strategically placed duplicates, and we're going to destroy human society. We're going to bring it all down. And while he's doing that, Stein gets to the self-destruction room. There are guards posted out the front, but they didn't post on the hole they made in the side.
Yeah.
So, but he kind of goes. He doesn't go through the hole. He just goes zoom zoom, kills both the guards, goes in the front, and he's trying to figure out how to destroy it.
Really takes his time.
He doesn't know that all he had to do is push the deal. Yeah. So the Dalek Prime is like, oh, he's there, Supreme Dalek. He's like, oh, and he sends all these people there, all the troops, and they go to kill him, and they show up and they kill him, but they kill him in such a way he bounces off the back wall, and then falls forward on the switch, blowing up the prison ship and the battle cruiser, the Dalek battle cruiser.
It's one of those really epic, force of will moments where he's already been injured. They shoot him, kind of like in Lord of the Rings, where what's his name? Sean Bean is getting pelted with arrows.
Yep.
And he just keeps going, so he gets shot and he falls back, and then you see this single mind, Boromir, determination. And he goes, and he falls forward,
falls directly on it, kind of like in Bridger of the River Kwai.
I haven't seen that one.
Add it to the list.
Okay, if I could spell it, Bridger of
the Bridge over the River Kwai, Kwai.
Kwai.
Yeah. All right. So, so he blows up the station and the Dalek battle cruiser with it, and the doctor walks out. He's looking and surveying everything and everyone that's dead. He's like, yeah, I think the duplicates are gonna just disintegrate over time. They can't go on without maintenance and without orders, and everything will be okay. And Tegan freaks out.
Yeah,
Tegan goes,
I'm tired of it.
I'm done. So many good people died, and it's just true. This serial, so many people, everyone died, except for the Doctor, Tegan, Turlough, and Linton. Everyone else, period, died.
Mm-hmm. Even that random guy out on the beach.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention this. Yeah. Tegan runs away at one point.
Some, like, lobster traps.
Yeah. Well, Tegan runs away at one point, and she's being chased by those two bobbies, duplicants, and she runs down some stairs, and there's a guy on the beach with a metal detector, and he's doing the metal detector, and they run up. They don't want to shoot her because they want her to be duplicated to go with the Doctor to kill the Time Lords. Instead, they shoot that guy. He just falls down dead. Every single person ever in this serial dies, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot
even the extras.
Even the extras. But that convinced Tegan to go with them. She says she got captured, so she went up there, all that. Forgot that little diversion.
Also convinced Tegan to no longer go with the Doctor.
Yeah, she breaks down. She has this just emotional
She's like, I'm sorry,
moment.
I just can't. Which is totally fair.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Too many good people died. And the Doctor said, yeah, but we saved the day. She's like, no, I still can't do it. And so Tegan runs away. And the Doctor's like, no, not like this. And even though Tegan has been with the Doctor for 3 seasons, she came in with the 4th Doctor.
She left, came back.
Right. Stayed on. Well, she left at the end of a season, then came back the very next serial. Yeah, so she wasn't gone. But she stayed along for 3 seasons, and she finally runs away. And we don't see her again for 38 years. When she comes back, she's still complaining the Doctor has a visitor, though she left him twice. And she's still complaining about him, like the same way she always complains. And the Doctor and Turlough get into the TARDIS and leave.
Just like, well. And that's the end. Very somber, no hopeful note at the end. Lighten, the bad guy, gets away, walks off into the sunset.
He's the only one of hundreds.
Ominously about the Daleks being stationed all over the Earth.
Not Daleks. Duplicates.
Davros obviously didn't die. He got on his escape shuttle, right? Because Davros comes back, right?
Well, we see Davros die. Actually, I forgot to mention.
But he didn't actually die. He got on his escape ship.
What are your questions?
And took off so he can come back later, right? Do we see Davros again?
We do.
Yeah, I knew it. He didn't. So he didn't die. He gets on his escape shuttle.
We see Davros again.
So that begs the question, obviously, do we see Linton again and those 2 dupes that he wanted?
Yes, we see Linton again.
Oh, they come back. Okay.
Not the 2 duplicates.
Oh, okay.
Because they broke down, as was stated. But we do see Linton one more time.
Cool. Yeah. So Linton... Davros comes back, Daleks come back, obviously, and yeah, all our villains come back. Basically, all the good guys.
We never, ever see the troopers again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. These guys never come back
for good.
But we do see Davros, Daleks, and Linton again.
All right.
And Tegan's gone.
All the good guys are gone. We lose a companion. all the bad guys die, but not
like
really.
I said,
They come
between
back
this
later on.
serial and the next 2 serials, everyone in the TARDIS turns over. Everyone.
Whole new crew.
And Doctor.
And Doctor. Yeah, well, he's part of the crew.
No, he's the captain, not the crew.
The captain's part of the crew.
No, captain. Crew's under him.
Yeah.
Alright, any other
I
questions?
think everyone at home is dying for an explanation of what is a time corridor and how is that different from the other time blips we've seen.
It's apparently kind of like a
corridor, like a hall, right?
okay.
So there's like a point A and a point B.
Okay.
Like
Do you know what a tesseract is?
the Tesseract, like the Allspark.
Not the
The
Marvel
cube.
Tesseract thing, but an actual
the
Tesseract.
Transformers Tesseract.
No, not
Turns things. It's a cube.
a Tesseract.
Is it like a codex? What is it?
No, a Tesseract is when you take 2 points in time and space,
Oh.
and you fold time and space so they're at the same point.
Oh, okay.
So
Like a Stitch.
the time, right? The time corridor is
Folding
basically a Tesseract, where they make it where you can move things. You walk into the spot
A
and you're
wrinkle.
suddenly here.
A Wrinkle in Time. And
Yeah, that's where the word Tesseract comes from. It's a wrinkle in time.
Did you read that book?
Yeah, a long time ago. I was a teenager.
No.
Young
They made
teenager.
a few movies. You watched the movies?
No, I heard they were bad. The one with Oprah was horrible. So
That's the newest one. I think they had one before that,
I don't.
which might have also had Oprah. I don't know if she was in the old one or the new one.
So, any other questions?
Why would the Daleks tell the Doctor? There's this one phrase that just makes you go, why? It's when the Doctor's sitting in the bubble wrap bed and he's complaining, don't kill me, and he's trying to buy himself time. And then the Daleks go, okay, show him our plan. And then they open up they show
bad
the
guy
duplicates.
trope. It's always.
So that's what I wanted to speak on, is the nature of the Daleks. It's almost as if they're so evil that they find enjoyment in torturing their prisoners. So they're literally torturing them. They're like, well, he's about to die. Let's go ahead and torture him about how his companions are gonna
become duplicants, and they show the duplicants, and
that's something that's not really engineered for efficiency. That's something they took over from the nature of Davros, because he is this evil, torturous person who is this maniac.
It's great at the end. We see Davros die. The Daleks are dying, and Davros starts spewing the same shaving cream. Like, oh no, what?
I'm not a Dalek.
I'm not a Dalek. He's like, you idiot. You took your genetic material to make the Daleks. You shared genetic material with them. A virus that affects them is going to affect you, you idiot.
And he shares the shaving cream with the Daleks. So they talk about the machine pistols being standard issue, and they rebuke the troopers instead of using their stun guns.
Well, laser guns.
Lasers,
because they didn't want
wasted.
any anachronisms.
They were more subjects, I assumed, to be duplicated.
Yeah.
But you can't if you go.
He calls them specimens.
Specimens.
Lytton calls them specimens.
So I wanted to talk about the standard issue because the what's his name, Calder, had the gun belt and he took off the gun belt, but when they duplicate him, he has the gun belt again.
Yeah.
So it's like they're equipping these duplicants with armaments, and they say, well, these machine pistols are standard issue, but they're not really like Earth standard issue for the policemen. It's like, where do they get this standard issue?
Well, it's much more
equipment?
standard issue
Where
than laser pistols.
Yeah.
Well, I brought that up earlier when why it seems like a plot hole. Why in the world, when the guy shows up dead, when they kill him, and he's up there and they duplicate him, but he doesn't have a pistol at that point because he gave it to the doctor.
Yeah.
Why in the world would he have a pistol then, unless they duplicate him from his mind, dead as it may be, they use the waves of his mind to duplicate him the way he would see himself, which was with the pistol.
Then why did the police officer duplicates get equipped with SMGs with suppressors and pistols with suppressors, because that's not standard issue.
I think they just wanted to be able to kill people because the prisoners got away. Like I said, this should have been 6 episodes. There's so much in here that was delivered by a single line when they could have had many scenes of it, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah. I feel like that kind of goes into what you're talking about. If there's one more episode, we could have filled out all this stuff. But I kind of like how they cut it short and keep a faster clip, because it kind of cuts out the padding of all these. It just makes sense.
But
it makes
you
it more.
do need to explain some things. Like, okay,
like some plans just don't come to fruition. Like you have
there's
these
so much
plans that are
in
cut
here.
short,
that is,
and you have to.
there's so
mix it
many
more-
loose threads.
Yeah.
Like there's a serial.
But that's what makes it real, right? Because war, you abandon and you adapt your plans as you go. It felt more chaotic that way.
Yeah.
Kind of fit into the Daleks have this plan. Oh, that plan topples. Then they kind of adjust, and then it's all these different pieces moving around on the chessboard.
There's a serial later on. Okay. I like a longer, more explained scenario. Okay, but there's a serial later on in the 7th Doctor.
See, I don't like it when they have to explain everything.
No, they don't. I don't even explain everything, but I'd like for them to at least show everything.
Oh, okay.
But there's a serial later on called Ghostlight with the 7th Doctor.
Ghostlight.
3 episodes.
3 episodes.
It happens so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It goes at such a clip
Mm-hmm.
that I've seen it 5 times. I still don't know what's going on.
Hard to keep up with.
Yes. Like, you'll watch it, and I'll watch it, and you'll be like, well, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. What is this? I don't know. Well, why did this happen? I don't know. Seriously, sometimes things happen too fast, and to me, this should have been 6 episodes, but, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. What are we going to watch next week, Heather?
Oh, next week, Planet of Fire.
Planet of Fire.
Yep.
Alrighty. Other than that, pretty straightforward sci-fi action, death-packed. Not a whole lot of plot holes and questions, just a lot of violence and melted faces mostly.
Questions and lots of violence. Planet of Fire next week, 4 episodes, back to the norm. And we lost Tegan.
Tegan's no longer a companion, yeah. And the other 2 not too far behind. We have, 3 more serials this season? 2? 3?
We have 3 more serials this season. And when you say the 3 not far behind, who do you mean?
2. The Doctor and Turlo not far behind Tegan getting...
The Doctor, Turlo, and Chameleon.
And Chameleon, oh yeah.
Not far behind.
Well, he's already been...
Chameleon shows up again just to leave.
Leave.
That's all that happens.
Oh yeah, I guess we should tie out this... At least they go back, because that's something they don't usually do.
They
go back and tie stuff up.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Chameleon shows up. He's been somewhere in there in the TARDIS, but he shows up again just to leave because the guy died in a boating accident. Right.
Any big Doctor Who news on the horizon?
No, I just told you about the
announcement dates. Yeah.
The announcement dates, and
Lots of
I
stuff
think I
coming
told you
up.
last time about their animating the Celestial Toymaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
So,
exciting.
That's the news, and that's it.
Alrighty. Well, join us next time for the Planet of Fire.
Yay!
Thanks again, as always.
See you next week on the 6th.
See you next week on the 6th. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.